Alright, how are we doing? So, gotta figure this out. I don't know what this looks like. We're trying to figure out a picture. Here is my puzzle. So, this is an abacus. An abacus is a counting tool. This counting tool just helps you visualize your numbers. And I'm just going to color in my counted beads. So we have our number. We have the top bead is a value of 5, and we have 4 bottom beads. So 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. So this is actually 9. Anytime the beads are touching this horizontal bar, this is what's being counted. We have 5 plus 4 is equal to 9, and we have 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. Hello, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. So what we're doing is we're understanding how to read the abacus. We have 96. So on my picture, I'm going to color in 96. I don't know what this is going to be, but we'll see. There we go. All right. So our next number is, we clear my abacus. So I clear my abacus. That means that all the beads are not touching this horizontal bar, right? When the beads are not touching the horizontal bar, this is what's considered 0. We are resetting our abacus. And then when you look at our number, we have 50, we have 1. So we have 50 on the abacus, and they have 1. The top bead will always be a value of 5, and the bottom bead is always a value of 1. So I'm going to color this in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, hello, hello. What we're doing is we're learning how to read the abacus. 51. And then we have our next number. We have, hello, good morning. So we have 83. That's what it is. 1, 2, 3. 83. 83. So this is 83. The top bead is a value of 5. The bottom bead is a value of 1. So when you put it all together, it gives you a number. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to visualize our numbers. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is 83. How do we get 83? 83 is the top bead is a value of 5, and these are the bottom beads. So there's 3 bottom beads. This becomes 3. 1, 2, 3. 3, and then this is 3. But because there's a top bead not touching the horizontal bar, this is not 8. This is 8. So we have 80, we have 3. Thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much for liking the live. I do appreciate that. So we have our next number. This is 7. That's what 7 looks like. So on the abacus, there we go. 7. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Lynette. We are learning how to read the abacus. So when we're looking, we have our 90 and we have 4. 94. So I'm going to color it in. The top bead is a value of 5 and the bottom bead is a value of 1. So we have a 5 up here and then we have 4. Yeah, okay. So this is 4. Sorry, this is 4, but notice the top bead is not touching, so this is not counted. Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
I don't know what it looks like. Okay, we're going to continue on. So this number is that. That's what that looks like. So we have a value of the top bead is value of 5. The bottom bead is a value of 1. You put it together and it makes a number. So we have 88. 88. So 88, how do I know? Because the top bead's a value of 5 and the bottom beads is 1, 1, 1. There's 3 1s, so 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much for liking the live. I do appreciate it. So we have our next number. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're learning how to read the abacus. So we have our number 61. That's what 61 would look like. 61. Let me know if you have any abacus questions. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. 61. 61. There we go. What's our next number? Hello. So we have... What number do you think that is? There it is. 41. So what we're doing is we're learning how to read the abacus. After we learn how to read abacus, you will get into starting how to do some adding and subtracting. It all just depends on time. So we have our next number. The top bead is a value of 5. the bottom beats the value of 1. So 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. We have this one, the top beat is the value of 5. There's 2 bottom beats. This becomes 7. So this is 97. 97. Oh, I like this activity. I do like this activity. We have our next number. We have 0, and then we have 6. 0, and then 6. That is our number. So I color it in, becomes 6. There we go. And then we have this one. Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city! Good morning, city!
Okay, so this is 40. How do I know it's 40? Because we have 4 here and we have 0 here. So 40 looks like that. 4, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, and then 0. So our next number is, we have, coloring it in, these are my active beads. Anytime the beads are touching this horizontal bar, they're considered active. So I'm watching but not understanding yet. Oh, okay. So all the bottom beads, thank you, that's some good. What we're doing is we're learning how to read the beads. When we have the bottom beads, it's all a value of 1. So it's 1, 1, 1, 1. There's 4 ones, and the top beat is a value of 5. Thank you so much for the comment. So this is actually 9. So we have 9 over here because we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. And then we have 7. How do I know? The top beat is a value of 5 plus 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. So this is 79. Thank you so much for the comment. I hope that made sense. That's some good. Did that make sense? We're going to continue on. Yeah? We got the next one. So again, I clear my abacus. Anytime the beads are touching this horizontal bar, that's what's being counted. So we have, see? Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the comment. If nobody comments, then I don't know if anybody's lost. You know what I mean? I'm just going to be in my own little world. So what number do you think this is? Right? We have our 0 over here. So if this is 0, this is my 1s, this is my 10s. What number do you think this is? This is, you have to remember the 0 though. Like our paycheck, we want to have more zeros at the back, right? So we want to make sure that that's actually 70. I don't know what this is. Oh, it might be a circle. I don't know. So we have our next number. We have our 0 over here, and then we have our number over here. That's what that would look like. So when we have it, our number would be 5. There we go. So, thank you. Yes, it is 5. Thank you, Star. Thank you. Yes, perfect. So our next number is, what number do you think that is? 60. Yes, thank you. It is 60. Correct. So we have the top beat is a value of 5, the bottom beat's a value of 1, right? Together make 6. But don't forget there's a 0 because we have our 1s and our 10s. When we're looking, we have our place values. We have our 1s, our 10s, our hundreds, our thousands, and our 10,000s. Now the reason why is because I have this label. This label right here tells me that this is the ones place. When we bring it down, this is the ones. Notice that I have another label here. This is my thousands. Hello, good morning, Tammy. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall, morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So this is 60, and then we have our next one. I actually have a new activity that I'm trying out. I'm trying to see what this picture is. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Star. It is 30, it is 1. Well done. Well done. So we have our 3, and we have our 1. Yeah, this has been around for a long time. I just needed to dig it up and start going through what the answers are. So that is 31. Thank you, 31. It might be just a circle. So what is our next number? We have our tens and we have our ones. Thank you, 72. Thank you so much, Star. Thank you. That's some good. Thank you. So we have our number. The top beat is a value of 5, and then the two bottom beats. Because the top beat and the bottom beat is together, this becomes 7. This is actually 70 because it's on the tens. And then this is 2. 2 is a 1 and a 2. 1 and a 2. Or it could just be a circle. And then we have our next number. What number do we think this is? We have our tens and we have our ones. We have our tens and we have our ones. Thank you. Thank you, Star. Thank you, some good. Thank you, that's some good. It is 18. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So what's our next number? We have our tens and we have our ones. Thank you. Hello, Troll Keeper. Good morning, Troll Keeper.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
It's been a little bit. How you been? How you been? I hope you are well. I hope everything is doing well. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What number do we have here? Oh, that's right. 95. Good morning, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning. So we have our next number, and this is it. So for those of you that are interested, this is an abacus. An abacus is a counting tool. Please keep your mind open for something different.
Now open your mind to me, please. Open your mind.
So this is not new. It's been around for centuries. It's been around since Mesopotamia. Then it was in China, and then it went to Japan, and the Japanese made it more efficient, and then and that's what we're doing right now. So if you ever see those kids that are doing all these gang signs, it's because they're doing it the abacus way. Thank you, Star. Yes. Where's the good morning sound coming from? It's coming from my sound bites. Good morning. Yes, it is. It is 29. So I think it is just a zero. I think it's just a circle. This is easy. Oh, like what movie? The Lego Movie. Did you hear it? It's Chris Pratt.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city. Good morning, city.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, thank you. That's some good. It is 4. Yeah, and so we don't have to worry about the 4. We don't have to worry about the 0 in the front, but it's always the zeros in the back. And then we have our next number. Oh, this turned out well. What number is that? Yeah, like this one. Just in case anybody's in the shower, don't put soap in your eyes.
Step 4, shower. And always be sure to keep the soap out of your eye.
Yes, thank you, Troll Keeper. It is. Thank you, Star. It is 13. Oh, look, it is that number. Okay, great. Well, that worked out. Okay, so this is what do you think this is? Can you explain why the abacus is useful to be able to read? Because if you don't know how to read the abacus, you don't know how to move it. If you don't know how to move the abacus, then you can't do adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. It's best if you can visualize your numbers. It's one thing to see the symbols. It's another thing to actually visualize your numbers. So this, if you notice, it's actually a symbol. This doesn't really mean anything. So when you're looking, these are just 6, this is 9. So it's like the alphabet, an alphabet's a symbol. When an alphabet's a symbol, it's hard to put it all together. But when you actually visualize your number, like I know that this is 4, and I'm like, okay, I know I can't do anything with this 4, I gotta add a 5. So then when I add the 5, I know that this is 9. So it's easier to see and to visualize your numbers, and what it does is also the way the Abacus method is, it provides critical thinking. What does it mean by providing critical thinking? Well, what happens is, in Abacus world, we deal with formulas. With the formulas, we have specific set of formulas that is being taught in school. We're teaching these things in school. We're teaching how to make a 5 and how to make a 10. In Abacus world, we actually utilize it. What does that mean? Utilizing in the Abacus world means that we actually make the 5 in order to make a new number. So I have this book. This is the Introduction to Abacus for Adults, and what we do is we go through the formulas, we go through how to read the Abacus. After we learn how to read the Abacus, we understand how to do adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Did that make sense? Redeemed beast, my head hurts. I can't do this in the morning. Come on, Reaper. Come on, Reaper. You can do it. You can do it.
Come on, do it. Do it.
This is brain activity. We're doing brain gymnastics. If you run in the morning, if you do any sort of exercise in the morning, you can do this in your brain. This is all about brain gymnastics. This is the best time to do it, right, Crystal? Right? So what we're doing... Oh, Reaper, guess what I got? This is the new one. It turned out to be really good. Oh, yes, thank you. It is available. It is available over there. My name is Lynette. I've been teaching Abacus for about 20 years, and the idea was try to make Abacus interesting and engaging and fun. Really, what an Abacus is just math. That's all it is. It's just math. But the way we do it in the Abacus world is a little bit different than mainstream world, but I feel like it makes more sense. I've always wanted to learn. But what's holy about it? So, right, Crystal? Okay. For those of you that are here, thank you, user 8477. No, thank you. I do appreciate the comment and the question. So for those of you that just joined, my name is Lynette. We are here to learn the Abacus. Thank you so much for liking the live. And so what we're doing is we're learning how to read it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. All the bottom beats the value of 1. So together, this makes 4. Then we have 5. Thank you, Martha, for checking in. Thank you so much for checking in. For those of you that are interested, go ahead and check in over at wherever my orange heart me is over here. Thank you so much. So then we have 5. The value of 5 is always going to be the top beat. So when we're looking, where's my paper? I have one more that I gotta go through. Okay, so we're gonna continue on. We have this number. If we have this number, you'll see that, so there's 7 columns. Does that mean you can go up to, not just yet. Reminds you of Fairy Mary and using Abacus. That's right, Xander. So, if you notice, redeemed, redeemed. So, red. I don't know. Red. This is the label. This label is my ones place. You'll notice that there's a ones here and there's another label here. This is the thousands. So when we're looking, I'm usually at one of the dots because I want it to be labeled and it'll be easier for me to keep track. When we have the number, we have 3,000. 1, 2, 3. Notice there's a comma here. This comma is very similar to this label that's right here. So we have 3,456. So when we're looking, right, we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands. So the number 1 million, not really. If you just disregard the dot, then you can go to a million. But I usually keep the dot as my label. So then you can do decimals. Exactly. So anything after the ones place is your decimals. This is your tenths, and then this is your hundreds. So then when we take it, so then notice that it's kind of difficult to see if it was just all one number. That's why it's nice to have the comma. So we have our next number. We can do 73,456.25. That's what that would look like. So we have 7,000, 70,000, 3,456.25. 25. And then I have this new number. So this number, right? Let me help you count that.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
So we have 55,555.55. So again, it is 10,000, right? 550, right? 50,000, and then 1,000, 5,000, 555. If I learned the abacus when I was little, to standardize test those would be a lot easier. Yeah, it would be a lot easier, because when you can visualize your numbers, it'll be so easy. So then you can probably give and see how it works out on the abacus. What? Can I give you an example? You can try. The only reason why is because it does come in stages. There's the beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You can give me a number and I can try to get you through. I don't know if you'll be able to follow, but it is up to you. So we have our 99,000, right?
99 problems, but a ain't one. If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a ain't one. Hit me.
So we have 99,999.99. Well, that's easy. Yep, that's an easy one, because when we look at it, what we're going to do is we're going to read our numbers, but the first thing we need to do is we need to analyze our question. So the question is 1.5 times that by 2. What we're going to do is we're going to figure out where we're going to put our answer. Our answer is going to be here. The reason why is because we have 2 digits right now. At the moment, this will be 1, this is 2, right? So why are we doing that? We need to do that so we know where to put our number on the abacus. What we do in abacus world is we do distributive property. It is called distributive property because we times it out for each of them. So 2 times 1 is equal to 1. So I put 1 on the abacus, but no, I put 2 on the abacus. The problem, not the problem, but what we do is we actually put it on a 0, 2. So this is, since it's a single digit, we need to make it a double digit. A double digit becomes a 0, 2. This is not a foreign concept, because just as we talk about how to tell time, like right now, it's like, well, it's 7:14. But before it had been 7, for me it would be 7:09, 7:03, 70 whatever. So the O, right, the 0 is not a foreign concept. Hello, Cricket. Hello, Cricket. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall, morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Another time we use a 0 in front is when we talk about a 2-digit month and a 2-digit. Hello, TJ. Good morning, TJ.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city. Good morning, city.
So 2-digit month and a 2-digit day. So the 0 is not a foreign concept to have it in the front. We also do it in money. For those, you like the sound bites? Thank you. For those of you that are interested in money, we also do it in money when we say $2.05. So having a 0 in the front is not a foreign concept. We're just making our single digit a double digit. So because we made it a single digit to a double digit, the reason why is so we need to push the number over to here. So my answer is 2. Now what are we going to do? We're going to do 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 10, we just add the 1. So my final answer is 3. Did that make sense? Red? So thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. I hope that made it easy for you to keep track. Great. I don't usually do multiplication, just because I'm afraid that I will lose people, because there's a lot of people that will just come in the room, barge in the room and saying, I don't understand. So we're going to continue on with how to read the abacus. We have our dot. So we can count it just like we do with our tally marks. So we have 1, that's what 1 is. We have 2, that's what 2 is. We have 3, I'm confused. Troll keeper. 1, 2, 3, that's what 3 looks like. And then we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you serious? We have 5, the value of 5 is just like the slash, right? 5 and then 5. 5 and then 5. And then we have 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. And then we have 7. 5 plus 2, right? We have 5 and then 2 here. We have 5 and 2 here. So that becomes 7. And then we have 8. 5 and 3. 5 plus 3. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then we have 9. 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9. Yes, 5 plus 4 is 9. Thank you. Only count the ones that are touching the bar. Yes, exactly. Only count the ones that's touching the bar. And we can do it again if I choose this one to be my ones place. Guess what? If I have my ones here, but no, I want to change it to here. So if I change my ones place to here, then everything gets shifted over like that. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So then, guess what? We could do this. We can look at this number and we can make it a really, really small number. Because it'd be 0, 0, right? This is my ones place. Decimal, right? After the ones will always be a decimal. And then we have 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. So we can have a really, really small number. Hello, Nika. Oh, I use it. That's how cool. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, now you can flex to your friends that you know how to read the abacus. And so those kids that do this, it's because they're doing the abacus world. They're doing abacus on their heads. That's what they're doing. So we're going to continue on. Because I choose this one to be on my ones place, now I have room. So we could talk about Roman numerals. So Roman numerals, we have 1, we have 2. That's what 2 is. We have 3, we have 3. We have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. The top B will always be 5. Thank you so much for liking the live, everybody. Thank you so much for liking the live. We have 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. We have 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. We have 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then we have 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. And then you might be wondering, what's after 9? 10. Guess what? 10 is a double digit. If 10's a double digit, it would be a 1 and a 0. That's what that would be. Yep. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for joining. So there was a mention about Fairy Mary. Well, guess what? Abacus has been around and it's actually everywhere. And I am going to show you. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, there we go. Here we go. So, for those of you that are interested, yes, Abacus is actually everywhere. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a little field trip. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. So, hello, Cookie. Hello, Cookie. If you've seen this movie, anybody seen this movie, Wonka? This Wonka movie has a character. His character's name is Abacus Crunch. Who knew? Who would have thunk it? Where is my... Oh, there it is. Great. So then, nope. We have Penguins of Madagascar. Yes, do you remember Penguins of Madagascar? Hello, random purple guy. Welcome. I want to teach my kids. Oh, thanks for sharing. Not a problem, Mara. Not a problem, Mara Zul. Mara, not a problem. I do have books available in my TikTok shop. I do have books available over here as well. It is up to you. It is kid friendly. If I could ask, how old are your children? I can direct you on which books to get. So for those of you who remember Penguins of Madagascar, Kowalski actually did upchucks in Abacus. Just a thought. Kind of gross. I don't know if it's slimy, but it is there. And then Soul, they use an Abacus type, and what they're doing is they're just counting souls. Fairy Mary, somebody mentioned about Fairy Mary. Oh, I think it was Troll Keeper and somebody else. They talked about the Fairy Mary. Oh, Xander, thank you. Yes, so Fairy Mary, she also uses an Abacus. And then in Mulan, they family ancestors actually use it too. Here's a question. What number do you think this is? If I put it on my Abacus, easy, right? What number do you think that is? It's actually a real number. For those of you who have been keeping up, what number do you think this is?
Bueller. 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 Bueller.
Yes, thank you, Tammy. It is. Thank you, Xander. Thank you, Random Purple Guy. Thank you, Troll Keeper. It is 7. So we have 8,000. We have 8,000. No, 87,000. 87,000, comma, right? Because there's the comma over here. This is 661. Yep. So when we're looking, that's what it is. Easy, right? Simple to use, easy to learn. Now you can go to all of the videos. You can go all of the movies and to see if it's actually really makes sense. So then, hold on. Okay, here we go. So in Powerpuff Girls, there's a season 4, episode 4. There's an episode named Him Diddle Riddle. Blossom actually uses an abacus. She doesn't really use an abacus, but she was trying to do abacus. You know how cartoon is. And so Buttercup says, "Why can't you abacus a little faster?" Very big dreams. She's actually blind. So what the parents do is the parents actually create an abacus out of acorns. If you're ever interested, there's this one game on the mobile app called Empires and Puzzles. Inside this, there is a character that uses a pulverizing abacus. I'm not sure when you would need it. I don't know sure when you need it, but apparently the level of this is 8 out of 8, and it's fantastic. It does 180% damage to all enemies. So that's pretty good, this pulverizing abacus. We have the Dragon Quest 3. I don't know how many people do Dragon Quest 3. We have a Abracadabracus, and then Match Factory. I'm terrible at math. I need to learn to use abacus. So Match Factory, inside here, there is an abacus. This is what's probably around the doctor's office. Kind of looks like an abacus, and it actually didn't start off as a toy. It actually started off as a business tool. So you can see some abacus floating around. There's a few different types of abacus. There's an abacus that you can get from Target. This is an 11-bead abacus. IKEA has a 10-bead abacus. A Russian abacus is a 10-bead abacus. And a Dutch abacus is called a Reck. This is also a 10-bead abacus. And then we have the Coder abacus. The Kramer abacus is very similar to what we're using right now. The Kramer abacus itself is a little bit different because it's meant for the people who are blind, right? Or for those people that have trouble seeing. And so what this is for, the beads themselves are actually a little bit difficult to use. Hold on, please. So the Kramer abacus is meant for people who are blind. There's a episode in Good Luck Charlie. I will have to do some research on that one. Thank you, Troll Keeper. Good Luck Charlie. Good Luck Charlie. All right. So, again, the Kramer abacus is meant for those who are blind. The reason why is because the beads are difficult to move, because they didn't want the beads to be loose, just in case they accidentally touched it, and they can't see if it's touching the horizontal bar. So they would have to use their fingers to make sure that the beads are there. So it's a little bit more stiff, and that's it. All right. So that is a little bit about the abacus. Thank you everybody for joining. Good morning. How are we doing? We are continuing on to learning how to read the abacus. Hello, good morning everybody. Good morning. Please keep your mind open for something different.
Now open your mind to me, please. Open your mind.
Okay, we're going to continue on. So we talked about the abacus. Let's do a little review. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The top bead, this is 4. All the bottom beads a value of 1. We have 5. The top bead is a value of 5. And then we have 6. We have 5 plus 1 is 6. We have 7, 8, and then 9. And then we have 10. 10 is always going to be the top, 10. Sorry. Sending word. Thank you. Thank you. I heart yellow cake. Thank you, I heart. Thank you so much. So what we're doing is we're understanding how to read the abacus. Again, oh, here's another thing. For those of you that are interested, this is what I wanted to do. If you have an iPhone, if you notice, I don't know if the Android has one too, but if you type in the word math, you'll notice that there's an abacus. Can you see that? What number do you think that is? Can you see the number? What number do we have here? So we have our thousands, we have our hundreds, we have our tens, and we have our ones. I was backwards? Yeah, interesting, right? It is not 1971. It is 1976 because the top bead is a value of 5. So when we're looking, we have to pay attention to the top bead. Notice that there's a top bead. See, there's a top bead there's a top bead. So that top bead tells you that it's counted. So it's, where do we have it? There we go. So we have 1, 19, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we have 7, 5, 6, 7, and then we have 6, 5, and then 6. 1976. The Android says it sideways. Yeah, that's what I wonder. Oh yeah, because it's the Russian abacus, I think. Yep. So I missed that one. Yeah, interesting, right? So for those of you that are interested, we do have. Sure. Perfect timing. All right. So that's what it is, and it's very interesting. The one on the Android is sideways. I don't know if it has numbers on that one. I think it's just a whole set. I think it's just zeroed out. But that's what it is. We're going to continue on understanding how to read the abacus, and if anybody is interested, I do have an abacus book for adults. Anybody who is interested in this. So what I did is I combined all of the concepts. There's actually 4 concepts. You need to learn how to add a 5. You need to learn how to add the 5. I'm sorry, can't see that. You need to learn how to add the 5, subtract a 5, add a 10, subtract a 10. What does that all mean? That means that, like here, we're actually doing carrying over and borrowing. So we carry over here, like grouping and regrouping, and then this is grouping, and this is regrouping. So what we're doing is we're understanding this part. But we actually do a little bit of grouping and regrouping here. This is a different concept in the abacus world. What we do is we try to figure out how to utilize the 5. So the idea is utilizing this 5 right here, and then utilizing the 10. That's what we're doing. So in the abacus, in this book right here, I show you how to read the abacus. We go into understanding how to read the abacus, and then here's a little walkthrough, a little flip through of what you should be expecting to be learning from this book. And so when we're looking at it, we have our maze. The reason why we have a maze is to help us understand how to read the abacus. If you figure out what the number is here, then you will find the path, but then you can kind of see it. So what I do is I give you this mask maze. This mask maze is to help cover up the answers. So you can print it, and you can print it on a thicker piece of paper, and so then you don't see the answer. So you need to figure out what this is. For those of you that are still here, what number do you think this is? So if I had my 10s and my 1s, what number do you think that is? 81. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Troll Keeper. Thank you, Heesun. So when you're looking, this is what the answer is, 81. And then you have to find the path where 81 is. And then it will take you to the next number. So when it takes you to the next number, then you can figure out. So then this is the whole path. But that's why I have a mask maze. On the mask maze, I give you this place card. It's supposed to mimic this right here. So this is what I have. And so people have been asking for a place card. So what I did is I put it in the actual book itself, and what it is you line up your abacus to match up the place. So we have our 1s, We have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, and our 10,000s. And then you'll notice that if I choose this one to be my ones place, however, if I choose this one to be my ones place, everything will shift over and you can still find the placement. So we have our decimal sits here, right? If my one's over here, my decimal sits here, and then my comma sits over here. That's where the comma is. So that's what I did here. And then you can line it up. So we have our tenths, our hundreds, our thousands, our 10,000s, and our 100,000s. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Good morning, wall. Morning, ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
So this is a 2-digit abacus. So here we talk about 3-digit numbers. After we talk about 3-digit numbers, I give you a little review. So here is 547. So on the abacus, we do 547. I want you to color in what the active beads are. So again, we have 547. The reason why is so then you can see what it is. And then we have the maze. This maze again tells me you have to figure out what the number is. And then from here, you'll find the path. So for those of you that are interested, those of you that are still here and have been keeping up, what number do you think this is? We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. What number do you think that is? Thank you, Troll Keeper. Yes, it is 5,573. So the top bead is a value of 5. Thank you, Marazul. So we have the top bead is a value of 5. The bottom bead is a value of 1. So together, this becomes 7. I have 3 over here, 1, 2, 3, and the 5 is not touching, so this is still considered 3. However, if the 5 was touching, like that, then this would be considered 8. So we have 5 plus 3 is 8, but that's not what the answer is. And again, you find the answer on the path. You find your path, and then you'll take you to the answer. So it goes to this one over here, right? So what we're doing is I'm just giving you a flip through of what the book is. You have the Big Brain Notes. The Big Brain Notes, again, talks about the 4-digit numbers. And this time, we talk about 4 digits. We have our place values. We have our thousands, our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. Our decimal sits here, and then we have a 3, and then we have a 2. So the number is 1,976.32. Where can I get the book? Hello, Layla. This book is available in my TikTok shop. Did I not pin it? I apologize. Oh, this is not good. Hold, please. Let me get that going for you. Yes, it is available in my TikTok shop. I apologize. There we go. Oh, there we go. Thank you for asking. So this book is available here. Do you see it? Thank you, Layla. Thank you, Layla, for the question. Whew. There we go. All right. I'm just going to do that. Okay. So thank you again. Thank you again. Yes, thank you. No, thank you for the question. I completely forgot. I was just so involved with getting you guys to understand Abacus that I forgot to put that in. But thank you. Yes, I have a whole list. I have a whole set of books. It ranges from children all the way to adults, and I'm still making more books. So, oh yeah, we got that. Oh, this one is a reverse maze. And if you want to, if you don't like the TikTok shop, I do have available here. I do have my whole collection is over here, but I try to bring the books to my TikTok shop. So my name is Lynette. I've been teaching Abacus for about 20 years now, and I just started publishing workbooks for Abacus. All of my workbooks is Abacus focused. All we do on the Abacus is add, subtract, multiply, and divide. That's what we're doing. Add, subtract, multiply, and divide. The first thing we need to do is understand how to read the abacus, and then we go into adding and subtracting. But right now what we're doing is we're going through a flip through of what you'd be expecting to see in this book. So here we talk about the reverse maze. The reverse maze means that if I give you the number, you're supposed to color in what the number is. That's all that means. And so we are adding. So this is instructions how to add. And all we're doing is we're moving the beads. And you've seen it. You've seen it when I do it. So adding the 3 just moves your thumb, right? That's what adding the 3 is. We add the 3. So we add the 4, that's the 4. Add the 2, add the 2. That's it. And so because we know how to add, I give you some examples on how to add, and then we do subtraction. What is subtraction? Subtraction is the opposite of adding. So if I have 9 on the abacus, I added it, right? If I want to take away, all I got to do is push it away. So if I take away 1, take away 1. Right? If I have 9 and I take away 5, all I got to do is move it away from the horizontal bar. So again, what we're doing is we're understanding it's just the opposite. If you know how to add, you know how to subtract. If I have 9 on the abacus, I want to take away 6, all I got to do is move it away like that. So my final answer is 6. It's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's so cool that you make your own workbooks. Thank you. I do. Yes, thank you. There's nothing out there that is very abacus specific with activities. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make all these activities for everybody. And I am here to abacify the world.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Yes, thank you. These are all abacus specific activities that I have created. And these are my books. I have pixel art. Now, the pixel art is super easy. I know the questions are super easy, but the idea with the questions is that you need to be able to see how the beads move. So here, if my question is 6, so I have 6 over here, I have 6 on the abacus. I want to add the 3. All I got to do is add the 3 like that. That's all I got to do. But the reason why the answers or the questions are easy is so then you get practice on moving the beads. So we have 6 and then we add the 3. So my final answer is 9. And then you're trying to figure out what this art is. I don't remember what it is. It's been a little bit. So then we have utilizing the 5. Utilizing the 5 means that we're going to actually understand how to go higher than 4. So we have 4, right? If we have 2 plus 2, well, how we get to higher than 4? And that's what this is. What we do is I explain how to utilize the 5, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But right now, let me just finish the walkthrough of the book. So after you know how to add the 5, you will know how to subtract the 5, and then I give you example questions and then an activity. Here is a summary. Again, if you know how to add the 5, you will know how to subtract the 5. It's exactly the same, just the opposite. We have the 10, which means carrying over. In mainstream world, we call it carrying over, right? But in abacus world, we call it plus 10s. Because all you're doing is you're adding the 10 to the next column. So if I have 9 on the abacus, I want to add the 10. That's all I'm doing is I'm adding the 10. So that's what we do is we just add the 10. And it just compounds. I have an activity for you, and then we start to review repeated addition. Repeated addition in multiplication, that's all it is. When we try to do multiplication on the abacus, all it is just repeated addition. You still need to memorize your multiplication fact. But however, we only go up to 9 times 9. The reason why is because after 9 times 9, it becomes redundant, because what abacus does is we do distributive property. I give you some activities, and then after that, we know how to minus the 10. Take away the 10 is just like borrowing, and then I give you color by number, and I give you some word ladder and the commutative property summary. Again, if you know how to add the 10, you will know how to subtract the 10. If you know how to carry the 10 over, you will know how to borrow the 10. Yes, thank you everybody for joining. And then after that, we have this framework. The framework is actually quite critical. The reason why is because this is how we start developing critical thinking in our math. What this means is I have the 7 and I want to add the 4. Do I have enough? Yes or no? If not, then can I add the 5? Yes or no? If not, then I got to add the 10. So that's what this means. So this is a workflow every time you add a number. And this is why it provides critical thinking, and it provides brain gymnastics for those older people that are interested in keeping your brain active. What you want to do is you want to start going into how to critically think our numbers. It's very similar to working out with Sudoku, crossword puzzles, word searches, jigsaw puzzles, and the abacus. So the abacus is going to help you critically think, and it will keep your brain active. So it's, again, if you know how to add, you will know how to subtract. Subtraction is the same process. It's not a different strategy like mainstream math does. Mainstream math has these other different strategies, but in abacus, it's very simple because it's simple to use and simple. It's easy to understand. Simple to use and easy to understand. So again, we have to figure out, do we have enough beads? Yes or no? If not, can we use the 5? Yes or no? If not, then we have to use the 10. That's as far as it goes. And if you know how to do this backwards and forwards, you'll be able to add and subtract at scale. Because this is where we get into the two-step equation. Two-step equation means that we're going to combine everything how we add the 5 and everything of adding the 10, and we're going to bring it together like a little Tetris. And this is where it walks through how to maneuver yourself around the numbers. And then once you know that, then really it's quite easy. So we have puzzles, answer the questions, find the answers. On the puzzle pieces. Here again is multiplication, and then some of when you add, right, you'll start seeing that there's some formulas involved. We have if you know how to add the two-step equation, we will know how to minus the two-step equation. Again, it's all about balance. If you know how to add, you know how to subtract. If you know how to multiply, you know how to divide. So the same thing, right? And then after that is a bunch of activities to help you solidify the concepts of adding, subtracting, adding and subtracting. So that's it. We have mazes, mosaic, and so these are all activities to help you strengthen the concepts. And I think the activities are fun. I do have a color by number, and I do have a maze, word ladder, and so forth. That's it. I do have answers in the back of the book, just in case you're not too sure. But I do have answers in the back of the book, and it also includes all of the formulas that we use. That's it. But let's say that's too much. This book was meant for adults, but I do have a line for children. The reason why is because I actually started off with providing workbooks for children, and the first thing we would do is depending on how old the child is. So if the child is young, like 3, 4, and 5, then I do have a book for preschoolers, and that's what this is right here. This is my preschool book. This preschool book was meant for ages 4, 5, or 3, 4, and 5. And some people are like, well, that's too young to teach. Well, if they're already counting, like their fingers and stuff, if they're already talking about numbers, then it would be a perfect time to start bringing in the abacus. Because the abacus is just going to help them understand and realize what it is that they're seeing. So if we have 1 on the abacus, right, we have 1. And they don't have to imagine what the word 1 is. So what we're doing is we're trying to visualize our numbers. And we have 2, we have 3, and then we have 4. After 4, we have 5, we have 6, right? 5 plus 1 is 6. We have 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. We have 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then we have 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. And then this is what 10 is. 10 is a double digit, right? And then you could see it. It's a double digit, right? So we do a little walkthrough on what this is. And then we talked about the numbers. This is all it is just recognizing what the numbers are, and how it relates to the abacus. And all of my workbook is abacus related. There's more pixel art, and then there's counting, and then there is making of the 5. So I try to make it into small chunks because I don't want to overwhelm the kids. The idea was, again, to just be able to do the pixel art, and then from 0 to 9. That's what this is. And then follow the path and activities. Then you count forward. After counting forward, you count backwards. After counting backwards, you count what comes in between, right? If I give you the number, what comes in between. And then I have what is surrounding. After that, there is comparison. Comparison. And then we start getting into adding and subtracting. There we go. Adding and subtracting. Again, these are all about if there's enough beads. That's the first step. The second step is what happens when there's not enough. Well, what if the kids are a little bit older than 3, 4, and 5? Well, then I have these other books. These are the maze books that we were looking at. If you're a first grader, I do have a 2-digit puzzle book. After that, I have a 3-digit puzzle book, and then I do have a 4-digit puzzle book. So these are all these are all meant to, again, solidify the concept of how to read the abacus. So here is my 2-digit book. We talk about the 10s and the 1s. In the beginning of the book, I explain how to read it on the abacus, and then we review what the numbers are. So this is 36. So 36 on the abacus would look like 30 and then 6. So the way we break it up as a number, it would be 30 and it would be 6. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for joining. And then after that, we go into the maze. So we have, again, the mask maze, and then this is the maze. If I do this, so those of you that are still here, what number do you think this is? And the idea is to figure out what the number is. So if I have my 10s and I have my 1s, what number do you think that is? Thank you, Troll Keeper. Thank you, Miss Fluffy. Yes, exactly. So when we're looking, it says 1s, and then this is the 9. So we have 1 and then 9. The top is a value of 5 and then 4, right? 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. It is 19. And then again, you find your answer, and then you follow the path. That's what that is. And I give you a thing called a reverse maze. And again, the reverse maze means that if I give you the path, I give you the number, you're supposed to color it in. That's what this is. And then I give you the answers in the back of the book. Hello, Pendo! Thank you so much for sharing my live. Hello. Good morning, Pendo. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall. Morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
And then I have the abacus for adult, 3-digit abacus. What we're doing is, again, we're talking about and focusing on the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. And this is what it looks like. So if I started here, right, what number do you think that is? And again, what we're doing in this book, we're focusing on our 3 digits. So we have our, let me try another number. You know what? Let's do this number right here. Good morning. Good morning. So we have our next number. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for checking in. So we have our next number. We have our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. What number do you think that is? Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for joining. If you wanted to check in. No. Sometimes it's really big. Sometimes it's really small. Go ahead and check in on the orange heart me right here. Thank you, Miss Fluffy. Thank you, Troll Keeper. It is, thank you, Dot. It is 731. So then you find your answer, right? You find your answer. It goes down here and takes you to the next box, and that box will take you to the puzzle. This is the maze. So this is what the maze is, and then again I give you a reverse maze. The reverse maze is if I give you the number, you're supposed to draw in what the abacus is. So it's 441. This is 441, and that's it. I have answers in the back of the book. And then we have our next one, which is a 4-digit number. The 4-digit number is the thousands, the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. And again, we have our mazes. I give an example. I explain in the beginning of the book, like how to read the abacus, right? And then we talk about the hundreds, and then we talk about the thousands. And the thousands is there's a dot indicator. There we go. So we have our ones, our thousands. So our thousands, 960, and then 7. So I try to explain it here too, and I would like to have it colored in. So color in the beads. And then we do a little review. After the review, we break up the numbers. It goes into the mask maze. Good morning, Zeno. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall. Morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
Again, this is the maze, and then the idea is to follow the path, and then it will go into from start here to the end, and then this is it. So for those of you that are interested, what number? Oh, there we go. What number do you think this is? We have our thousands, our tens, our ones, and our thousands, our hundreds, our tens, and our ones. What number do you think that is? Thank you, Troll Keeper. 8,136. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Fluffy. Right? Makes sense. Simple to use, easy to understand. So we're going to continue on. After you do this, right, or after the children does this, then the next thing is to talk about how to make a 5. How to make a 5. So we know how to read, right? We know how to read the abacus. We want to add the 1 All we got to do is add the 1. We go to the horizontal bar to add the 1. Americans. Hello, Michael. Hello, Michael Egland. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the comment. I'm not sure why you're here wasting your time. Thank you so much, though. I do appreciate that comment. So we have our next number, right? We have our 1 on the abacus. But then if we did, I'm sorry. So we have 7 on the abacus. What we're trying to do is in an abacus world, what we do is we focus in on the process. We kind of divorce the result, right? So what does that mean is we don't focus on the result. What we want to do is we want to understand that this is 7, right? 5 plus 1 is equal to 7. So then we want to add the 1. We focus on the second number. We focus on the second number, which is adding in the 1. Adding the 1 goes to the horizontal bar. Is there enough? Yes, there is. So you add 1, and that's what we're doing. So our final answer is 8. And then we have our next number. All right, if we want to add the 2, it is these 2 beads that we're going to add. No, it's not these 2. It doesn't matter which 2. Because if I have 6 on the abacus, I want to add 2. There we go. I want to add 2. My final answer is 8. And then we do it again. So we can do 3. You could do the abacus, right? 5 plus 3. Or you could do the dots, which is, in public school. But it's okay. You could do that too. Or you could do the tally marks. You could do that too. But on the abacus, you can actually scale it. Thank you so much for liking the live. So we can actually scale it. We can actually say 50 plus 30. 50 plus 30 equals 80. So we actually scaled it. It's easy to supertize. Thank you so much, Miss Fluffy, for the follow. So when we're looking, we have 0 and we have an 8. That's why it's critical to understand how to read the abacus. Because when you start moving the beads, all this is just learning how to read the abacus. So you could do it with the dots. That's a whole lot of dots. I'm a little lazy. And I don't want to do all the dots. So we could do it one step forward. We could do 500 plus 300 is equal to 800. And then after that, again, you could do the dots to show the quantity, or you can use the abacus. And what it does is the abacus actually provides a place value. So every column, right, is a value. So we have our 1s, our 10s, our 100s, our 1000s, and our 10,000s. And then if you notice that this is my 1s place, I have a label right here. This is my 1s. So I have my decimals. I have my 1s and my decimal. And then I have my tenths and my hundreds. Yay, Ash! Oh, Ash, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Are you following along? You can do some of these questions too now, yeah? So if you notice when we add, we go to the horizontal bar. When she hate kilo. When you're going to teach us geometry, you can go right ahead. I don't know geometry. That is above my pay grade. So we can do -1, right? I'm in school. I've been asking my teacher. Oh, yeah. I've been asking my teachers. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for checking in, Ash. Thank you so much for checking in. Don't be on TikTok. Focus on the teachers. Come on. So we're going to do 7 on the abacus. 7 on the abacus. Yeah. So then we have minus the 1. We're going to take away the 1. Is there enough to take away the 1? Yes, there is enough to take away the 1. So my final answer is 6. Yeah, I believe Ash's teacher knows, right? If I remember correctly. Okay, so the final answer is 6. So again, we're not going to focus on the result. What we're going to focus on is the process to get there, right? A little bit? Yeah. That's right. I want to learn multiplication with it. We'll get to, Ash, you know your multiplication table, right? It's actually really quite easy. Okay, good. So, but you're in school right now. Okay. We could do you want to do it? We can do one right now. Okay, hold on. Let me get my paper. Nope. There we go. Okay. We can do one now. We can do one now. Yes, we'll do one now. Okay. Let me clean up a little bit. Okay, now I gotta make sure I gotta get my multiplication book out the door. Now there is a need. I need to get my multiplication book out the door. Everybody's been waiting, and I'm like, oh my god, such the pressure. So much pressure. Alright, hold on. I need to find paper. Alright, here we go. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we have the next number. Okay. You can do this in your head. I know you can do it in your head, but I'm going to show you concepts, right? So what we're looking at is we're looking at the concept. We need to figure out where our decimal, we need to figure out where our where we're going to put our number. Why? What we need to do is we need to analyze the question first. Analyze the question first. What is it? It was observe the situation and then plan accordingly. That's what that means. So what is that? So what are we trying to do? We need to understand how big our number is. So Ash, how big do you think our answer is going to be? We're going to count the amount of digits. We have 1, 2, 3. So on the abacus, remember, we have our dot. This is our ones place. We count 1, 2, 3. We know this is going to be a 3-digit number. We know we're going to be in somehow in the hundreds. So then we do distributive property. We do 7 times 3. What is 7 times 3? 7 times 3 is equal to, what number is that? 21. Thank you, Ash. So you add the 2, you add the 1. That's it. Notice I do not have to say 70 plus 70 times 30. I don't need to say that. Why? Because if you look, it already tells me that I'm at the 210. So you just need to pay attention to, you just need to remember your multiplication fact. All we did was say 21. The reason why we counted our place values is so we know where to put it and we don't have to worry about it ever again. So if you look, you pay attention to where your columns are. We don't have to say 200, right? So multiplication is mostly mental math. Yes. You know what? Everything is mental. You just happen to move the beads. So even adding and subtracting, that's in your brain. The abacus doesn't do anything for you. This abacus just tells you what the number is. So this is what, it just tracks your numbers. So if you notice, it actually says 200. So what's the next one? The next one is 5 times 3. What is 5 times 3? Is 15. Add the 1, add the 5. And that's it. See, all I did is I moved the beads. You need to know how to do this. That's why this is mental math. Yeah, easy, super simple. If you know your formulas, right? You know how to plus the 5 minus the 5? You know how to plus the 10 minus the 10? Plus the 5, plus the 10 minus the 10. There we go. Yeah. So then when you start getting more complicated, I don't know. When you start getting more complicated, it's not complicated. You're just using formulas. So if you did 23 times that by 48, right? Again, you count your numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you distribute it. 4 times 2 is equal to 8. What do we do with the 8? 8's a single digit, right? What do you do with the 8? You make it a 0, 8, right? So 0, 8. So you add the 8. And then we do 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is what? Thank you, Queenie, for the follow. What is 4 times 3? 4 times 3 is 12. So you add the 1, you add the 2, right? What's next? Because we're done with the 4, you do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to change color. Yeah, I have a few students in my class, in my lives, and they know how to do the abacus. They know how to do abacus like this. So we do 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what's the next one? It's 2. It's 2. 2 times 8 is equal to what? 2 times 8 is equal to 16. Okay, this is where you have to do your this is where you have to do your formula. Add the 1, add the 6. Do you see that? Add the 1. Do you remember how to add the 1? I cannot add the 5. What's another way to add the 1? Remember how to add the 1? Plus 1 is equal to what? Plus the 10 minus the 9. So, right? Minus the 9 plus the 10. And then you do what? You add the 6. Do you see that? And then what's the next one? 8 times 3. What's 8 times 3? You can't see that. What is 8 times 3? 8 times 3 is 24. Add the 2, add the 4. Do you see that? Add the 2. How do you add the 2 here? Add the 2 is what? Plus 2 is equal to plus the 10 minus the 8. Plus the 10 minus the 8, and then plus the 4. So what's my final answer? Does that make sense? So you need to still know you still need to do your formulas. If you know your formulas backwards and forwards, then multiplication will be easy. But everybody starts with understanding there. Yeah, totally. What's my number? What's my answer? My answer is 1,104. Yeah. But make sure you know your plus 5s and your minus 5s. You know your plus 5s and minus 5s, doing multiplication will be super easy. Yep. Doing multiplication would be super easy. I'm in my senior year and I'm trying different things. Yeah, I've had a few kids that came into my room, a few high schoolers that came in my room, and they said that just doing the abacus helped them move up a little bit in their grades, which is crazy, which is fantastic, which is great, awesome. And so that's the thing. It's like if you have the brain, if you have the time to just practice a little bit, you can practice like 5-10 minutes a day. If you have like 5-10 minutes a day to practice your fact families, fact family of 5 and fact family of 10. Those are the only 2 fact families you need to memorize. I'm in pre-calc. I definitely want to learn this more. You know, honestly, it's not going to help you with pre-calc. It will only help you with basic arithmetic. Thank you, Tony Tone, for the roses. Thank you so much for the roses. So yeah, that's the thing, right? Like abacus is only basic arithmetic. It's only basic arithmetic. But thank you, Ash, for joining. I do appreciate it. And I do have a few high schoolers and elementary schoolers that come in my live. And they just kind of like, they go through and they start to realize that doing abacus makes it a lot easier. Yeah. I know. There was a kid in my class, in one of my lives, and they just like learning new things, and I'm so excited. I'm excited to be able to teach new things to everybody, and I appreciate that you take the time to learn. You know what I mean? So thank you so much, Ash. I'm very open to new things. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, ma'am. It's helping a lot, even for those that are out of school. Yes. My plan is to continue on with the abacus line, so I do have abacus for adults. I do have abacus for adults because people who are out of school have been asking. Thank you. I'll check you again. Okay, see you later, Ash. Thank you so much for checking in. Yes, stay in school. Keep going. Be smart. Be smarter than me and make millions. Be smart. Thank you so much, Ash. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next live. But yeah, Tony Tone, for those, if you're interested, I do have workbooks available for adults, because it was one of those things, like I was thinking that I was teaching kids, and it turned out that adults were really interested. So I did a flip through of like my book, and we go through all the concepts. Thank you, Ash, for the roses. And so I was talking to Ash about there's like things that I was talking to Ash about. We had to know our how to make a 5. That's like the fact family of 5, right? You need to know how to add the 5, you need to know how to subtract the 5. And then we need to know the fact family of 10. This is the carrying over, and then this is the borrowing, which is very different in mainstream math. Mainstream math makes it very complicated, but in abacus it's actually quite simple. The reason why is because in abacus it kind of reduces the noise, and because it reduces the noise, it's easier to focus on what you're trying to do, and then it gives you more room to focus on the higher math like algebra, calculus, geometry, and so forth. So Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. And again, this is just a flip through. So we talk about the 5, and then I break it down how to utilize the 5 and so forth. And then that's it. That's actually my time. I do need to go. I need to get ready for another meeting. But I wanted to just kind of pop in and say hi to everybody and say good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, city!
Hello, Star Child. Hello, Troll. You're still here, Troll Keeper. You're still here. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for keeping up. Thank you so much for keeping up. Good morning, Star Child. Yes. So, hello, hello, hello.
Good morning, apartment. Good morning, doorway. Morning wall, morning ceiling. Good morning, floor. Ready to start the day.
I can't believe you're still. That's what I'm saying, right? Like you're still here. I'm very. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored that you taking the time to stick around. I do appreciate it. And it's just one of those things. Like I don't know. Like it's one of those things. Like all time is of the essence, and you guys are here enjoying Abacus, and I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But yeah, my next book for the adults. I don't know if you got it, but my next book for the adults will be the multiplication. And then after that, it'll be advanced adding. And then after that, it'll be division. And then after that, it would be advanced multiplication. And then after that, it would be advanced division. And then after that, it would just be like all the other stuff. Yeah. But I'm going to continue on making the activities. Everybody really likes the activities, which is really interesting. So that's why I created a new activity. But it takes time to do it. So there's this one where I have the thing. I can't wait for the new books. Oh, thank you so much, Star Child. Yeah, it takes time though, right? Like even like doing this, it takes a lot of time. And right now I'm still in the process of trying to format one book, and I have like a few that I have to finish. Yeah. So I think I was going to add this one to my repertoire of activities. This one, but I haven't figured out like what I wanted to do quite yet. It's like pixel art, and so you figure out the numbers and you figure out what the picture is. Some of them is a little bit off, so I got to redo this. Yeah, cool. All right, so that's it for me. That is my time. I am gonna head out. I got to get ready for another meeting and continue to work on some workbooks and try to abacify the world, because the point is to trying to take over the world.
Gee, Ray, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
So thank you again for everybody for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate your time. I do appreciate you sticking around and just having some brain gymnastics. Brain gymnastics in the morning. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Have a good night. Good afternoon, everybody.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Oh yeah, origami and abacus. Yes, origami. I should add that to my list of things. Origami, crossword puzzles, word searches. Yeah, I should add that to my list. Thank you, Star. Thank you, Star Child. So, thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you all in my next live. Bye. Bye, Troll Keeper. Sudoku mixed with abacus? Not necessarily mixed, but it's the concept, right? If you do Sudoku, you can do abacus. I think it's a little harder to see abacus with Sudoku. Yeah. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.